Hello Gamesaders, this is the Kingdom Come review, and I want to start off by just pointing out on my background you'll see Ashes of Creation, and I want to talk about that at the end of the review. But for now, let's get right into it. So you play as Henry of Scallops. Your village comes under attack by Sigus of Hungary. Your parents get murdered, and the sword that you and your father, who is also the blacksmith of Scallop, forge a sword. Later, a little bit into the game, the sword gets stolen from you, and then you have two primary missions: one to reclaim the stolen sword, and to avenge the murder of your mother and father. During this game, there is a lot of choices to be made, good and bad. Some of them are hidden. For instance, on my first playthrough, I've had two playthroughs. The first playthrough, I made a ton of mistakes. I used up all my savory snaps. I didn't know how to read books or to find the herbs to craft more of them. So my first playthrough, as you're escaping Scallops, you find that one of the milkmaids is being attacked by three of these cumin soldiers. Now, at the time, my primary objective was to escape, so I just ran to a horse and rode off. Cowardly? Yes. Logical? Yes. My second playthrough, I decided that I've got a bit of experience now. I'm going to actually hit them and then run off, and that might give her enough time to just escape. And I was right, it did. And I was surprised at it. I thought, this is fantastic. I hope there's more of these little choices and hidden consequences further in the game. The combat is unbelievably brutal. Not Dark Souls kind of brutal. I've played a little bit of Dark Souls, and at the time I didn't have the stomach for it. Not the stomach for it, I shouldn't say stomach. The patience to try and figure out each fight. I just wanted to get in there, bash some skulls in, and experience the story. I look for challenge after I've finished the game, because on the first playthrough I've enjoyed the game, you know, and then the second playthrough, then I'm looking for that challenge, because that's the replay value for me. So the combat is brutal. Any slight mistake could cost you damaged armor, loss of health, bleeding, just any number of things. Injury to your hand, to your feet, ribs. So the combat is very realistic. Each swing matters. Each block matters. And if you don't get it right, then you're not going to survive very long. And I didn't on my first playthrough. I died a lot. And because there's really no, when you pick up a quest, there's no level indication to say, hey, you have to be this level to go and fight them. I went over to kill some bandits for, I forget who it was. I picked up the quest once I reached the main city. Anyway, there was 4 of them in the camp, and I go charging in there like Rambo, and I got owned. I thought I better take out the archer first, because he's going to be the biggest problem. So I'm going to be fighting these guys. He's going to shoot me with arrows, and that's going to send me wobbling all over the place. But I was wrong. I can engage the archer, but the archer just backs off, and I've got all the guys behind me smacking me in the back of the head. and I just kept dying. And when I went to pick the chest, I didn't realise I had already had the quest item for it. I had to pick up the spurs off the leader of the camp. I did manage to kill them. I had to stay on my horse to kill them. Since I didn't realise I already had the spurs, I tried to open up the chest and it was considered hard to unlock. So I started again, and that's when I made all the different choices. What else is good about this? The story, absolutely breathtaking and gripping. Okay, first your parents get killed. Not really a big deal, not dramatic because you don't really know them. You forge a sword with your father, you have a chat with your mother, but there's no depth to them, so you don't really care that they die. It's like, okay, moving along. So the story is absolutely great. It takes on different aspects. You know, you've got to reclaim the sword that was stolen from you. You have to avenge your parents, and then you get all these side quests and main quests that you help the other lords of the land. What else is good? The RPG elements are great. I didn't get the horse plate armor for my mount on my second playthrough. I'm not sure where I get that from. Maybe on my next playthrough I won't rush in to do things. I wanted to finish the game as quickly as possible so I could get a review out, and then I came down with a cold. I don't know if you can tell, I still have a cold, and so that took up a lot of the time, and that's why I didn't get the review out. But so the RPG elements cover swords, defense, axes, maces. You get a lot of two-handed weapons, but nothing covers them. They're like a separate sort of thing. You pick them up, but they don't go into your inventory. You just hold them. Things like spears, and I think I got a halberd once. I don't know, it could have been a spear. It also covers how much weight you can carry, armor, food consumption, alcohol, lockpicking, stealth, a whole range of things. The other thing, well, actually, that's it. That's everything that I liked about it. The story, the graphics are beautiful, the sound, the combat, the RPG elements. The things that I didn't like about it is that the story, the two main primary missions, to reclaim the sword and avenge your parents, there was no conclusion to those. The story just ended on a huge cliffhanger. So you'll have to wait until either Warhorse Studios makes an expansion for Kingdom Come Deliverance, or they make a Kingdom Come Deliverance 2. Well, either way, if you do buy it, I do recommend buying it because it is a great story, and what you do have there to play with is well worth the money. But if you don't like cliffhangers, just wait until they release the next one, if they do a next one, which they will have to. Otherwise, if they don't, then I don't recommend you buy it. I'd wait until it's on sale, or it's price drop, whatever. If you want to experience the medieval life, the life of a peasant becoming a soldier, becoming a knight, then go for it. It is a great game, and like I said, it's well worth it. But if you don't like cliffhangers, it's not up your alley. Okay, so that's the Kingdom Come review. It's a the other thing is that it is a great game. That's what I consider it. It's a great game, and I think I was going to do a rating, but I thought, no, people might think I'm copying Angry Joe, and if I do a percentage, then they might think I'm copying IGN or someone else. And then I started thinking, if I do percentages, it's going to get too complicated. Like, what do I do for 5% or 10%, 15, 25, 30, whatever? So I'm just going to give it titles. It's great. It's a great game. There are videos on YouTube where people say that it is better than Skyrim. I have to disagree. One, Skyrim offers more variety in combat. You have your melee combat, ranged combat, you have magic, you've got fire, ice, electricity. On top of that, you have your shouts, racial ability. Then on top of that, you have RPG elements. You have blacksmithing, lockpicking, all your magic schools. And then in those, you've got different categories to pick and choose from. And even though Kingdom Come Deliverance has some of those things, it just doesn't compare to Skyrim. Okay, so don't believe for a second that Kingdom Come Deliverance is better than Skyrim, because in my opinion it isn't. Skyrim offers so much more, especially in regards to story. You have the Civil War, you've got the all your side quests. On top of that, you have God, what was it? The Prophecy of the Dragon Reborn, Dovahkiin. It's hard to tell because I don't have them in comparison side by side, so I can't sort of pick out what's good, what's bad, you know. All I can say is that Skyrim has a hell of a lot more to offer, and the story doesn't end on a cliffhanger. Okay, you finish the story, you're done, and then you can go on to the 2 expansions that they released. So, Kingdom Come Deliverance, great game, not as good as Skyrim, has a lot to offer, but again, ends on a major, humongous cliffhanger. So, that's my review. Now I'd like to move on to Ashes of Creation. So I'm not one of the founding members of Ashes of Creation. I didn't even know this game was in existence on Kickstarter. I only found out about it, what was the last PAX West? I think I found out about it at the start of PAX West. And I watched all the videos of, I actually have, what's the name? David Sharif. I watched all of his videos, and he was giving me inspiration in wanting to play MMOs again. I mean, I've only played World of Warcraft. World of Warcraft was my major #1 MMO. And at the start of it, it was great. I didn't get to experience any of the vanilla raids. I experienced the raids later on, after several expansions. but I still had a good time playing it. But now it's gotten weak in its story. It's like they're running out of ideas, so they're just slapping anything together and calling it an expansion. Now we're back to orcs and humans. I'm sorry to say, but it's always been about Alliance versus Horde. Okay? One, because Alliance or Horde aren't allowed into the opposite faction's towns. In PvP, we're always fighting Horde. Alliance is fighting Horde, or Horde is fighting Alliance. Alliance aren't fighting one another. Horde aren't fighting one another. Unless you go into an arena, then I think it's something like that. I don't know. But when I started watching Ashes of Creation, I thought, this guy is amazing. He wants to make MMOs great again. He says it that many times, and he's got it on the hats and shirts. And I believe him. He wants to make this genre great again. Because too many companies now are losing sight of what makes an MMO great. I thought Guild Wars 2 was going to be the one to trample Blizzard and World of Warcraft, but sadly I couldn't work out the dungeons. I leveled up a character to level 70 or 80. I forget what the level cap is. I haven't played Guild Wars 2 for ages now. But I got my mage to the max level, and I started doing all the high level dungeons. I'm like, how am I supposed to do this? No one's tanking anything. I've got to fend for myself. I've got to heal myself. I've got to also deal damage, and then I've got to roll out of the way of all their attacks. That to me is not fun. And if I took more time to understand it, maybe. But I played it. When was the last time I played it? I think I tried playing it a couple of weeks ago. I tried to get my account back, and I couldn't get it back. So I started a new account, played it for maybe a day, and even in that day for maybe half an hour, until I got bored with it. Excuse me. So I'm sorry about saying that I haven't played it for ages. I just remembered that I have played it for a short time. Sorry, I've still got a cold and my throat is really dry. So I thought Guild Wars 2 was going to trump the MMO genre. But with the dungeons, I turned off of it and went back to World of Warcraft. Because with World of Warcraft, it has that, I don't know what it is, but it has that something about it that keeps drawing me back to it. Maybe it's the way they set their dungeons up. You have a designated tank, someone whose sole purpose is to hold aggro, to defend the rest of the party. But even now, World of Warcraft, Blizzard have stuffed that up because everyone can tank now. Hunters can tank, warlocks can tank. I've even seen a shadow priest tank. It's ridiculous. Okay, the only tanks should be the plate wearers or the druids, the druid tank. It should go back to the way it was in Burning Crusade. They should never have dropped off of the way dungeons were set out in Burning Crusade. Your tank was the one who marked everything up, set up a strategy so you could effectively take down mobs and not wipe. And if anyone pulled before the tank, then the whole group would wipe because the mobs would just do that much damage to them. But then Blizzard decides to go and change it, and Wrath of the Lich King took a different direction, and it was pretty fun. I actually found that my Paladin tank was an unstoppable holy force. It just rampaged through. Valkyr, there was an area where you adopted a disguise, of the Valkyrie, and you basically go around and I'd just collect up all the mobs and I'd kill them all. I wouldn't take any serious damage. Then the next expansion came out and they turned that all around and they ruined it. The tank became piss weak. I'm getting way off track here. I knew if I started on World of Warcraft, I'd just keep going. There's a lot of things that Blizzard have done right with World of Warcraft, and even more things that they've done wrong with it. Now, if they created another MMO and they took all the good things that they did from World of Warcraft, the dungeons from Burning Crusade, the classes, the talent pages, the 3 sets of talents, not the stupid, simple crap they've got now. This is so idiotic. This is what Blizzard thinks. They think we're all morons. And that's why they've simplified it so much. If they brought back the original talent trees, that'd be great. So talent trees, the original talent trees, the dungeons, and the way you marked things up. Some of the later things that they added in, like the farm, I had fun with the farm. Going there each day, doing my cooking, then going into my own separate farm and just doing a couple of things there. Then they announced they were going to do a garrison. And I thought, that's great. Now, if they could add the farm into the garrison, that'd be fantastic. But they didn't. They had your own mine. They had your own herbalist. And it was good. You could have certain things there. You could have your own blacksmithing joint or tailoring or whatever. Then, what was it? Warlords of Draenor came round. Yeah, no, that was with the garrison in Warlords of Draenor. Oh, what was the next one? Or the one before it? It was a farm. Yeah, no, okay, yeah, no, it was a farm and a garrison, and I wanted them to combine the two. But since they're not doing that, that kind of spoils it. Now they're going back to Alliance versus Horde. Yeah, okay. Have fun attracting more people to World of Warcraft. What they need to do is make a Diablo online. Okay, as I said, if they take all the good things from World of Warcraft and put it into a new MMO, they could attract the hordes back again. But who knows what they're doing. And I said a long time ago, after I finished playing Reaper of Souls, that this was a setup for a Diablo Online, because the way it ended. And now, once again, I am way off track. So, back to Ashes of Creation. I've been looking at their class list, and this is a new one. I was told when they first appeared. So, I was looking at their class list, and this is absolutely amazing. Okay. Each class, you have your primary class and then a secondary class. And then from those, you have I don't know what you'd call it, a third class. So if you chose to be a tank, as I'm going to play a paladin, so if you chose a tank and then went cleric, you'd become a paladin. So you combine the two classes to create the class of your choice. Okay, if you wanted to be the ultimate tank, you'd go tank and tank. So you'd be a guardian. I mean, as I was saying, David Sharif is an inspiration that all MMO developers should be looking to when creating their own MMO. So with this, I don't know what's going on with that top part there. The class list looks amazing. How many is there? 64. 64 classes. Base class on all 64. Come on, yeah. So 64 classes. You'd be confused right at the start. You wouldn't know what to play or what to start to play. You know, because you'd want to experience them all. Like you'd want to play. So if you like being a spellcaster, you'd start off as a mage, and then you think, like, okay, now I'm going to be a sorcerer, so I'm going to go bard. I'm going to go mage and bard, so I'm going to be a sorcerer. But then as you're playing through, you think, oh, geez, this is a bit difficult with these fights. I might go a warlock. But then you'd be conflicted because you wanted to play a sorcerer. So you're going to be, the choices are going to be tough at the start. For any newcomer, I didn't support this in Fund Kickstarter because I didn't even know it was in production, which I already said. So my only concern is one of the videos, one of the people asked David Sharif, how does he feel about people starting alt characters? And he said, don't quote me word for word, but he basically said that you can if you want to, but he'd prefer you to play or focus on the one character. Now, to me, that doesn't seem right. It doesn't seem to fit with their MMO, and especially with 64 classes. So you're basically saying make one character, focus on that, and don't play anything else. I mean, that doesn't seem to fit their narrative for the game they're making. You know. Because, like I said, you'd want to play a whole variety. Like, I'd want to play a paladin. I'd want to play a sorcerer. I'd want to play a... Where's the ranger? I'd want to play a... Where was the... I thought there was a beastmaster. Where was that? Was a bard? No. There was a... Oh, there it is. Summoner and ranger. Beastmaster. Yes, I'd want to play Beastmaster. But if I'm forced to focus on one character, now I'm fine with that, because that's how I did in World of Warcraft. I focused on getting my paladin up to the highest level, into the best dungeons, into the best raids, and then I started on a different character. So is that what he's meaning? Focus on the one character, and then once you've done everything with that, then start again? But if you start again, can you experience all the low-level stuff? Is that low-level stuff still going to be there? The other thing I want to talk about is... where is it? The store. Oh, it looks like they've changed it. Yeah. Yeah, they've changed it. 450. Mask of Affection, Hydro Swan Pet. Yeah, see, so the last one was like a horse and a boat and everything. I mean, here you get a house and a swan boat, and you know, all this is great if you have the money, and unfortunately a lot of people wouldn't have $500 to just throw away, especially. I mean, okay, let's take a look. You get access to Alpha 1, Alpha 2, Beta 1, Beta 2. $500. That's a lot you're asking for. I mean, I'd want to play the beta first, or even the alpha first, to get a sense of what I'm paying for. You're asking us to take a lot on faith. I mean, we've been burned. Well, I have personally. I've been burned quite a bit with MMOs. Guild Wars 2, Aeon, Warhammer, Lord of the Rings. What was the other one? Rift. What was the last one? Elder Scrolls Online. You know, I've played a lot, and they haven't lived up to that same expectation or that same level. And that's where I come back to World of Warcraft. That they have something in World of Warcraft that keeps drawing me back, that I try and find in other MMOs, and it's just not there. It doesn't feel the same. So with this, because I've never played this, I haven't played it. What does a $75 access to beta 2? So yeah, I mean, this is the other thing. You pay $75, you get access to beta 2, and you think, wow, this is a great game. But then you've missed out on all this other great stuff. So it's a lot of money to be asking for, and I mean, this is in USD, and I live in Australia, so I'd be paying even more than 150. You know, and this is digital stuff. That's what I don't get. It's digital stuff, and they want 500, 250, 150, and 75. No one's forcing me to buy it. I don't want anyone to think that, oh, I'm just having a whinge. I'm just saying that for the price, for the stuff that you're wanting to give away, and the price you're asking for is quite a lot, especially for all digital. Anyway, the other thing I want to go back to is the classes. And when I was talking about the dungeons, are we going to have designated tanks? Now, I know there's a class called a tank, but I thought a warrior or a guardian in Guild Wars 2 was going to be a tank. I didn't know who the tank class in Lord of the Rings was supposed to be. Aeon, I didn't really play that much. That kind of grew thin on me right from the start. They're saying, like, you get these wings and you can fly around all over the place. Well, that was a lie, because you could only fly in designated areas. And that sucked, because you had a timer on how long you could fly in the air. So I didn't get any dungeons, so I didn't know who the hell was the tank in that. Guild Wars, sorry, not Guild Wars 2, Lord of the Rings Online. Again, I've already covered Lord of the Rings, God. What was the other one? Rift. I tried playing a tank, but because of the class choices, it was kind of confusing as to what abilities I should have. Should I have the same abilities from one class, or should I mix and match them, even though they sort of do the same thing? Anyway, if I'm playing a tank, am I actually going to be a tank? Are any of these other classes? So let's say I play as a tank and a cleric, and I'm a paladin. Am I still going to be a tank? I'm pretty sure I am. I haven't watched the videos in a while, but I'm pretty sure when they cover the classes, I'm pretty sure that they said the tank was going to be the actual tank. So, tank and a tank, you're going to be the ultimate badass tank there. Paladin, you're going to be a tank with some healing abilities. But again, are you going to be the tank? Are any of these other classes who take up tank on their secondary going to be able to tank along with me? Because that's going to be annoying. Anyway, guys, thanks for watching. The next game I'm going to be playing, I have my list here. I'm currently playing Final Fantasy 15. I did start playing it when I first got it, but I thought I don't have enough time for this. I don't have the patience for this style of game anymore. Running around, leveling up. Playing it again, I've gotten like to quite a high level, level 54 so far. I find leveling in this to be a lot easier, the combat to be a lot quicker, and not so much simplified, but a lot easier as well. The weaknesses of the enemies, you can quickly change your equipment out to suit what you're fighting, where in games like Final Fantasy VII, as soon as you got into the fight, well, that was it. That was it. You learnt what they got, and you had to you just had to fight the boss with what you had. The next game I'm going to be trying might be I'm thinking about getting Pure Farming. I don't know. It's only $50 on PC. But I don't know if I'd have the patience again, because it's a simulator. I'm not sure how quick it would be or how slow it'll go. If I don't get it, I'm still deciding on whether to or not. If I don't, the next one will be the God of War. I've got the collector's edition for that, so there will be a unboxing for that. I don't have any game capture for PlayStation or Xbox, so there won't be any game footage, and I didn't upload any footage of me playing Kingdom Come. As I said, I don't think I said it at the start, but I couldn't get it working for the first 2 days. And then after that, I was just happy to start playing it. I didn't even think of recording, and when I did think of it, I thought, nah, I'm not really up to anything exciting or dramatic that people would be interested in watching. I mean, maybe you'd be interested in watching me just run around town repairing my armor, selling all my crap. So that is it. Alright. If you guys are interested in a new MMO, check out Ashes of Creation. I'm interested in it, but I'm a little concerned that if I pay out the money and I don't like what I'm playing, I'm going to regret spending that money. Because 150 US works out to be $190 Australian. And the only problem that I see with this game having is if it's the node system. Okay, so if your kingdom builds up to the metropolis and your guild is running the place, what if you start the game and you can't get into their guild? I mean, can you still join their guild? Are they going to let you join? Or what if you're not in their guild? Can you still purchase property? How is that going to work? The other thing is, what if another guild comes in and steamrolls your metropolis and you've got to build it up again? You know, do you still own property? I think they covered this. I don't know which video it is. I'd have to go through and watch them all again. But I mean, what if you're home existed in a little pocket world. I know they did that in the first Guild Wars. Anyway, enough of that. If you want to check out Ashes of Creation, do so. I don't recommend you buy anything right away. It is going to be subscription based. They've already said that. So I think that's what I'm going to wait for. I'm not going to fork out $190 or $250 US, which I think is like $320 or something. It could be more. I don't know. But I'm not going to fork out that kind of money and then regret paying it because I don't like what I'm playing. Especially if they do things wrong with it, like the classes. Because you have your primary class and your secondary class, if you can't mix and match your talents to suit both sides, then I'm going to get annoyed with that. If they have a simplified talent system like World of Warcraft, I ain't going to like that at all. What's the other thing? If your property gets if you live in a metropolis and you own property, and another guild comes in and steamrolls your guild and takes over your kingdom, and you no longer have a property, I'm going to get annoyed with that. I think in a video they said if someone takes over, you'd still have the blueprints for your property or something, so you wouldn't have to like go in and sort out where everything goes. I think it's saved to that blueprint. So that's a good idea. But again, if I can't go into my house, I mean, what if you have storage in your house and you store a lot of your crafting materials in there, and then someone comes along and conquers your metropolis? What happens to all that stuff? You can't access all that because you no longer have a house. There's so much I don't know about this game, and I'm just too concerned with how much they're asking for just to experience their alpha and their beta. Anyway, that's it from me, guys. Stay tuned for more. There will be God of War. As I said, I'm playing Final Fantasy 15, but the next couple of games that I'm getting is God of War, Vampire, which looks pretty good. Beast Quest, I'm not sure about that one. I'd have to look at that. A new one that was just announced was Detroit Become Human. That comes out on 25th of May. I will be getting that one as well. Red Dead Redemption comes out towards the end of the year, but I will be getting that as well. That's way off. So yeah, so stay tuned. Go out and get Kingdom Come if you want to experience a medieval story and you're okay with a major cliffhanger. And I think that's it. As for all the latest news, I've seen other YouTube videos, something concerning System Shock Remastered, Metal Gear Solid Survive with loot crates. I mean, I don't think we're going to get rid of that. I mean, that's something I started my channel up for, is to fight back against that sort of garbage. But I don't think you're going to get rid of it. The other thing is Disney pulling the plug on EA. I hope they do, because EA really stuffed it up with Battlefront and Battlefront 2. They need, I think it was Yong Ye I watched, he said they should put it in, no, it wasn't Yong Ye, it was the headline of a video. I don't know. But the headline or the person I was watching said that CD Projekt Red should get the license for Star Wars, and I quite agree with that, because they've come through with Witcher 3, and nothing so far has surpassed Witcher 3. It was massive. For me, it was Mass Effect Dragon Age on the same level. Then it was Skyrim, and then after that it was Witcher. And nothing has surpassed Witcher 3. Even though people have said that Kingdom Come is better than Skyrim. No, it's not. If you want the whole sword fight, spell casting, ranged combat, better stealth, I mean, that's the other thing. Kingdom Come has crap stealth. Okay, so unless you're really hardcore on the stealth, that you're going to stealth everywhere, don't bother. It's designed for medieval combat, you know, sword fighting, maces and axes and things like that. And I'm still going on. Sorry. Okay, that's it. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys next time in the God of War unboxing. I will do an unboxing. I'm also getting two Taku statues of Kratos and Arceus, or Atreus. I don't know his name. Thanks for watching. I've said that so many times now.